Thanks for staying with us on News Central now. Two more stories now. Let's go to South Africa, where the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions, SA BDS Coalition, says that it is distressed about their colleagues who remain unsafe in Gaza without food and medication. Reports coming from Gaza suggest that many people are starving to death, as Food and SA BDS Coalition says this is a war crime under the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court and the Geneva Conventions. Meanwhile, at least 1.1 million people from Gaza City and North Gaza are under threat of bombing to South Gaza. BDS Coalition also demands an immediate ceasefire, a mass delivery of humanitarian assistance, including all necessary medications for the Palestinians trapped in Gaza, the reinstatement of the UN anti-apartheid mechanisms towards international sanctions, and an arms embargo against Israel, and a swift prosecution by the ICC into war crimes by Israel, including the crimes of genocide and apartheid. Now, to join us discuss this, we are now joined by Usuf Chikte, Coordinator, Palestine Solidarity Campaign. Thank you so much, Usuf, for joining us.
Thank you, and good evening.
Good evening to you too, Usuf.
And
all right, Usuf, going straight to it, what exactly can you tell us about your colleagues and other people that you know that are trapped in Gaza currently?
Yes, so we have a colleague in Gaza whose university has been bombed, firstly. Secondly, his house has been bombed, and he went from one house to another place of refuge close by, in Gaza City, and that house had about 30-40 people in it, and that house was also unsafe. The Israelis declared it, targeted it for bombing. He then had to move to yet another house, and after that they were forced to move to the south, near to the Rafah border, where they made their journey, and on the way they were bombed. Along the way they had to leave dead bodies behind. There is a complete blockage of water, of food, of fuel, of electricity in Gaza, and it's reached now a point where they are in abject hunger, poverty, and they just can't get out of it. They're hungry. They don't know what to do. They can't eat. They can't drink. There's no safe water around it, and they've made an appeal to us to assist them. And coming with the absence of water, or the prevention of water, or the banning of water to civilians, which is a war crime, as you've indicated, there are lots of diseases like dysentery, scabies, that children are, and because he had to escape his house only with his passport and no additional clothes with him, and his identity documents, and they've got children. And one of he is on chronic medication. They can't get medication. They don't have access to healthcare services. His children are frantic. They're panicking. And one of his children had a toothache, but she couldn't go to the dentist because the dentist was bombed and killed during the bombing. There are close to 200 healthcare workers, doctors, dentists, and other healthcare professionals who were killed by Israel in the process. Today we learned that the Al-Shifa hospital has been bombed, similar to the Baptist hospital earlier.
Usuf, apologies, please let's stay with the demands that y'all are making now. There's been a lot of demands recently from what we gathered following the story. They're asking for a ceasefire, asking for medical aid, asking for humanitarian assistance, a reinstatement of the United Nations anti-apartheid mechanism and all of that. But let's focus on the most important, which of course is a ceasefire. Without a ceasefire, it might be difficult getting humanitarian aid and all of that. Have there been any engagement from any organizations or any civil society who can partner on this to add more voice to the call for a ceasefire?
Yeah. Well, there are millions of people all across the world who are demanding a ceasefire. The persons in government in the West, in the EU, in the USA, and in the UK, they are the ones that are blocking a ceasefire. They don't want a ceasefire. They blocked the ceasefire at the United Nations. They blocked the ceasefire, but the United Nations General Assembly pointed, when they voted overwhelmingly for a ceasefire. But the United States and the European Union, they want war. War is profitable to them, and the profits are taking place at the expense of the Palestinians. So most people want a ceasefire, and it's a European the former colonial powers and Israel who don't want one. Israel wants to reoccupy the territories, the Palestinian territories militarily. And they want to stay there. They want to retake it, and they want to expel the Palestinians.
Usuf, are you still there? Well, unfortunately, we lost Usuf's audio there, but thanks in absentia to Usuf Chikte, the coordinator of Palestine Solidarity Campaign. And hopefully we can get good news from Palestine there.